We got some problems. No matter where you live on Earth, everyone's dealing with some kind of struggle. But there is a tendency for us to lean into our tribal preferences when we disagree about the solution, making it very hard to achieve the goal of making a better world. And by better, I'm specifically referring to an improved state of well-being. Although there will always be disagreements, there is one foundational solution that would help ease the pain of inequality and help speed up the transition to a better world. You're about to discover the most unifying goal for humanity. So it's a good thing you clicked on this video. My name is Christian, and what we're about to discuss today is a fact of life. We need energy, and a lot of it. So I propose the goal of becoming a Type 1 civilization. NANI?! It's a classification level found on the Kardashev scale, and the title would be achieved once humanity controls all the energy sources on Earth. This could include all the potential energy from renewable sources that come from the natural world, or an unknown alternative that creates an equivalent amount of energy that our planet offers. Some researchers think this goal could take over 350 years at our current rate of advancement. But this timeline is tragically unacceptable when you consider how essential energy is to pretty much every societal issue you can think of. But why? Let's take this phone for example, one of the most used things in the world. No matter what it's made out of or how it got created, it has something in common with everything else you can buy. There is always a built-in cost of energy that factors into the final bill. Putting monopolies and greedy markups aside for now, energy is an essential factor in every part of the whole. The cost of energy impacts the entire supply chain, starting with R&D, extraction, refinement, packaging, shipping, the cost to the consumer, and sometimes the cost of recycling those materials later on. This goes for everything else too, like the creation of food, schools, homes, and infrastructure. So even though energy is often hidden behind walls and a rubber lining, the price and availability of energy is integral to the quality of life we get to experience. This fact of modern life supersedes any form of national governance, so whether your country leans toward a free market or is highly socialized, all of the services and products you consume require energy. Thus, it is truly the foundation to the majority of societal issues we face on Earth. When people discuss how to make a better world, they often appeal to broad assertions that changes need to occur in our regulations, moral character, or funding allocation, which can all be true, but it's ignoring the foundation to the challenges we experience and how we can make solutions easier to deploy in the future. In societal terms, less energy leads to less opportunity, and all that sweet energy is necessary to do work. As it turns out, the modern world does more work than ever, all while reducing the hours required to complete that work. But if we wish to solve challenges like scarcity or finding meaning, we'll need to power significantly more work. This is how humanity will gain more opportunity to reach its full potential. Beyond the type of governments you happen to be born under, the things many people believe are possible and eventually attempt to accomplish in life are largely limited to the borders of their country and the amount of resources that country coincidentally has access to. The lottery of life, if you will. Some resources are used for energy, like fossil fuels. And the more of that kind you have, the more innate leverage your country has to obtain a wider variety of resources like metals, food, land, and water. You know, the things you need to feel secure and support an economy. As you might imagine, this perpetuates some pretty unequal opportunity throughout the world and is often a focal point of war. The internet is a tool that has helped people escape their borders, but unfortunately the lottery of life is artificially chaining many people to their coincidentally inherited resources. It's unfair, and we need to end this lottery, so we can actively work toward a world where our birthplace on Earth is no longer a statistical factor in one's ability to bring out their full potential. What does energy really have to do with this though? I think the full potential of humanity could be obtained once we have the capacity to freely interact with the world. More specifically, our full potential might become more accessible as our material necessities and ability to complete work becomes easier to accomplish. It starts with a shift in our perspective about work and reconsidering what kind of work a human being is best at. Some things we're not good at include tasks that are repetitive, numerical, or require us to move something from point A to point B. We are limited in our capacity to take on those tasks because our body or attention will eventually degrade. These are all things that artificial intelligence could do better than humans in many cases, and researchers expect technologies that use AI to exponentially improve over time, secretly threatening the current paradigm of working for money to live. Early signs of life-changing automation already exist when you consider the deployment of smoke alarms, drone delivery, self-driving cars, smart home devices, or even the video editing tools that allowed me to make this video for you. We've automated so many things at this point that it's easy to take a lot of it for granted, but we need to keep in mind that access to energy was the foundation that made it all possible. And if you'd like to hear my extended thoughts on how this could impact the global economy, feel free to watch my video about the Fourth Industrial Revolution right here. On the flip side, humanity is pretty good at some other things. People excel at chilling and finding interest in a broad variety of interests and topics. We're attracted to things that don't directly help our survival and have a burning desire for validation and emotional connections. We are a social species that develops complex networks of relationships and creates or consumes art that reflects our innermost fears and aspirations. Some of us enjoy working toward positions of authority and power, while many others merely want to coexist equally. Our motivations are diverse, but more often than not, our societies compel us to focus on tasks that merely satisfy the bottom line, our survival and economic value. We spend more time rationalizing our lot in life than actually working toward the life that we want. And the jobs that we attach our identities to often don't correspond with the type of activities we'd rather spend our time doing. Currently, most adults spend about a third of their life at work, and global Pew studies indicate that work is the most commonly cited source of meaning. Although the most reported source is work, 75% find meaning in a broader diversity of interests, like traveling, family, hobbies, learning, and volunteering. So why are we constrained to spending so much of our life on a type of work that doesn't provide meaning for the majority of people? Big surprise, it all goes back to energy. It's the backbone to the economy and the foundation that allows us to interact with the world. So it's time we place the goal of obtaining efficient, abundant, and self-sustaining energy at the top of our priority list. It'll not only lower the price of everything we consume, but it will provide the necessary support to automate large swaths of the economy, giving humanity the chance to redefine work. Work could be teaching, learning, creating, or caring for each other if we altered our priorities. And that's why obtaining complete control over all the energy sources on Earth is the most unifying goal for humanity. Having more energy will facilitate more unique solutions to provide the necessities of life and create opportunities to pursue work that currently does not have an economic value. Sure, we don't need that much energy to create the world I'm describing, but eventually, future generations will grow tired of the limitations on this planet and seek something more.
ついに自然様の力をいただく。マンパワーをぶっちぎる動力の時代だ。
Becoming multiplanetary is humanity's best bet at understanding who we are in the universe and escaping extinction. Ideally, having some more humans on other planets should be our main goal, but we still need to power and develop brand new technologies before that can happen. Ironically, learning to cohabitate with this planet might be the key. But this can only be done if our generation lays the groundwork for the energy demand that is likely to come. The goal of becoming a Type 1 civilization won't come easy, but if we don't start with the end in mind, we'll stumble in the dark and continue to repeat the tragedies of the past. Automation and our ability to harness the energy from our planet are currently coalescing, creating an opportunity to deploy novel solutions that could eliminate hunger, disease, discrimination, and amplify our ability to find meaning. Electrical energy is the foundation that determines how we can interact with the world. And with a unified goal to generate and distribute even more energy, I believe we could make a better world. As you probably noticed, this video is pretty heavy on the what instead of the how, so if you'd like to learn more, feel free to check out any of my other videos that breaks down new technologies and strategies to accomplish this goal. Or just like and subscribe to show that you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and remember, there's always a way you can help, but if you'd like to learn more, you can start by watching either of these videos right here.